Hi to Charlie Falconer, Lord Falconer, former Labour Lord Chancellor. Sitting there
John.
looking pretty cheerful with life just at the moment. You're looking okay?
I am looking okay. Well, first of all, on the story about the Keir stuff is a really interesting story. I think it tells us much more about the sense of the left in Labour losing its grip on the party.
Does it, Charlie?
Jason's point, which is such an interesting point, was that the epicentre of Corbynism, Islington North, voted in favour of Keir yesterday. And today, obviously, I don't know where you got this story. My suspicion, John, you can't comment on this, would be it came from the Labour Party itself, the arbiter of a fair competition. What it tells me is
Charlie,
the quick.
Charlie, you can say what you like.
Of course. You can't comment on that, and quite rightly so. But what it indicates to me is the quicker we reform what goes on inside the Labour Party, and Lisa Nandy or Keir Starmer look the right people to do that.
Okay. Well,
And the other point I'd like to make is
do.
Kate's point about the Red Wall. The papers this morning are filled with the Tories speculating about mansion tax and massive expenditure on transport infrastructure.
Yes.
We had better get our skates on in Labour, or the Tories are going to steal our clothes, because that's what they're trying to do in the newspapers this morning.
You think so? Okay, look, we may come to that too.
Yeah.
But just on the first point, you are a Labour man. You're also a lawyer. You're a former Lord Chancellor, for goodness sake. Keir Starmer's a former Director of Public Prosecutions.
Yeah.
Now, look, his campaign and Keir himself, in writing to the Labour Party, our senior correspondents, they say there was nothing wrong done here, that no one hacked anything, that they tried, a couple of his people in his campaign, trying to investigate a potential vulnerability in the Labour Party database. They didn't mine it. They didn't go after any material, let alone use it improperly. That's their side of the story. But if there'd been an attempt to log on to this
Who do you
website,
believe, John?
well,
do you believe Keir Starmer,
the-
or do you believe that shower that has been around dealing with, for example, allegations of anti-Semitism? Speaking for myself, I don't know the facts of this, but my money is on the Keir Starmer side, not on that lot that have been not leaking to, I don't know if they've been leaking to you, but the sort of people who are trying to run a political party in the middle of a leadership, who'd start telling the media straight away about these letters, are people who can't be trusted. But we know they can't be trusted.
Yeah, look.
As I understand it, an email was sent from Rebecca Long Bailey's.
This is about a week ago.
Yeah, with a link, which was that if you click on this, it did actually turn out that you could get access to a vast amount of data. So from the Keir camp, they had a couple of people, they clicked on it, and as soon as they realised what it was, they clicked back out of it again, shut it down. Everyone's been sent this letter of warning, by the way. It just so happens that someone has been able to work out the email addresses of who looked at it from the Keir campaign. I don't know who was able to do that. And then that's what this brings.
Just to avoid Charlie, before you answer that.
Okay, so you're saying that it was, they checked the Rebecca Long Bailey breach of data protection, and then they told the Labour Party about that, and now they, like whistleblowers, have been reported to the Information Commissioner.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, there you are. That's your story, John.
No, well, that is the side of the story from the
That's
Keir.
from
What's the alternative
Keir
side? What's the alternative side of
Well,
it?
look, there has been a report to the Information Commissioner on the basis the
But that's
Labour.
what Kate is saying is that's the basis of the report to the Information Commissioner.
Well, what we know,
The checking out of the Rebecca Long Bailey breach
that
of
is
GDPR.
You still shouldn't be doing that. But I mean, it's just fascinating that it was a couple of people. I mean, how did anyone find out that it was people from Keir's campaign?
Okay, at the risk of people getting
Sorry, this is
fascinating, Charlie, but bear with me. If
Sorry.
I help people listening in who obviously would like to understand what we're talking about.
This.
Yeah, at the risk of people getting too confused. So from the Labour Party, we have had last Thursday a letter sent by Labour to the Information Commissioner suggesting and alleging a breach. The breach, in one case, described as a data scraping. That's another word for hacking. It's also suggested that the material that was taken in that way was used through dialogue and through some sort of telephone call. That's the Labour case, and they passed it to the Commissioner. The comeback from Camp Keir is that they were simply investigating a potential vulnerability and they made no attempt to exploit it. That is the two sides of the story. And as you say, Charlie, amply you've piled into the argument saying this is all some sort of dirty trick by the
It sounds like to me.
Yeah. But you would also concede as a legal man as well as a Labour man that any attempt by someone to go into a database with any, it's a forbidden place.
Yes.
So to go in there, this is the team of a former DPP who denies knowledge of this, by the way. That's a risky thing to do, and a serious accusation has come back.
Well, it's a pumped up allegation.
Trumped up allegation, you think?
Pumped up, given to the media straight away rather than in any attempt to investigate the truth. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really honestly makes me think as a long-term Labour member that we really need to make sure that you can trust the organisation of the Labour Party.
Yeah, what we can say is that things have turned pretty ugly. I mean, it has seemed pretty peaceful on that front.
Well, I mean, even quite boring, to be honest. And
Yeah.
this has certainly livened things up a bit.
Can't call this. Well, I should say, guys, that I've had a statement from the Labour Party where they say, well, a source is saying that they're investigating matters, and that means these matters that have come to their attention. They say, their statutory obligation and reported to the Information Commissioner. They're not saying much beyond that. This will run its
Have they got any
course.
material to back it up?
Well, you should ask them. And
I'm asking you because you're the person reporting this story.
Well, there are two sides to this. And
have you discovered any information to back it up?
I've discovered what I've been told overnight, and also it's been discussed in this studio, and I can tell you, and you know whether I tell you or not, it's getting pretty hot. I want to move on to something, because there are other stories in the air apart from this one. And you'll have noticed, being an observant man, a trained lawyer,